In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install PyCharm and connect that to our Neon SDK. If you haven't already installed your Neon SDK, I'll link the video for that below. Let's get started. Alright, we're going to continue our Neon setup now by installing PyCharm. PyCharm is an IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, used for Python programs. And so we're going to open up a terminal here. They have the command written out on their website. So it's going to be a sudo snap install PyCharm community. With the classic option. The community version is free. You can also pay for the professional version, which has some more features, but the free one should do just fine. Type in our password there. So PyCharm is a snap package. Snap packages are kind of cool. They basically run on any flavor of Linux. It's the type of package that the Ubuntu store, for example, uses. And you can find out more at their website, snapcraft.io. So it looks like PyCharm has finished installing here. Go ahead and start it up. I'm going to add that to my favorites. We'll be using that a bunch. No settings to import. I prefer the dark theme, but you can select light if you wish. And then we're also going to install our Markdown and Bash support packages. Markdown is what we're going to use to look at README files for skills and core. And the Bash support just gives us some helpful tools for reading all of our Bash functions. We'll go ahead and start using PyCharm. And then we already have Neon installed, so we're going to open that just as the Neon AI folder. Perfect. And it can take a little while to index all the files, but you can start using it before it completes. This might be a little bit slower since it's working in the background. First thing I'm going to do here is go to Settings, and then under Version Control and Git, under version control, not under Git, we're going to look at our Git roots here. We want to make sure that we have this home Neon AI registered, as well as our data/skills, which it'll show as under home Neon AI. So that's our core and our skills repositories. I've seen before where skills isn't automatically populated. So just to show you what you would do in that case, I'm going to remove it and then manually add it. And what you would do is simply browse back to it, hit OK. It automatically finds that .git directory and registers it as a Git VCS version control system. OK. And that's done. Another useful thing to look at in PyCharm is if you go under Help and Edit Custom VM Options, create that file, and this XMS and XMX This is the amount of memory that it will allocate to the virtual machine it runs everything in. So if you do like to do a lot of debugging from the Python console or the terminal down here, you should probably turn this up. Something like 2 gigs of RAM would be plenty. Just make sure you leave enough for PyCharm and your system to both run smoothly. Since I'm running this in a virtual machine with limited memory as it is, I'm going to bring that back down to 1024. Close that out. So it looks like it's done indexing all of our files. I'm going to do just a quick check to make sure that everything is linked up and working as we'd expect. So I'm just going to go into skills, make a new file, and just call it test.txt, add it, and this green file name indicates that it's a new file that's not on the remote, as we expect, because I just made it. So looks like Git is picking up our repository settings. Go ahead and delete that because we don't need it. And I will also take a look here at our git ignore file just to show what's in here. So as you make changes to the core, anything in any of these directories is going to be, anything that matches anything in this file is not going to commit to Git. So importantly, things like your YML files aren't going to get committed, which is good because those are going to vary depending on the machine you're on. Same with anything in the documents, pictures, video, music. If we look at those are actually shortcuts to your user folder directories. So we wouldn't want to commit that to our project. And then likewise, our default location for skills and caching, this data folder, is also in there. So if you do make changes to git ignore, make sure you don't change those unless you really know that you want to, because you probably don't. And if we look at the skills folder, we have the same git ignore, and this one, it ignores just the .idea, .pyc, and then some other directories that we don't want to sync up with our repository. So that's a quick overview of installing and starting to work with PyCharm and Neon AI. In the next videos, we'll start looking at actually making some changes and start looking at the actual code. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this Neon AI tutorial. Be sure to head over to neongecko.com for more information, including a written transcript of this tutorial and any code snippets we may have used. See you next time.